I used to say when we started, once you get out of high school, sports is a business. I no longer say that. Sports is a business in high school. I mean, it is there, folks. You need somebody on your side who understands how it works, because there are most of the folks are really good, but there are some unscrupulous folks out there. And they'll tell you whatever they need to tell you to make you happy, to try to get you to come to their school. They'll tell you what they're going to give you scholarship-wise. They're going to do all these things. And once you sign on the dotted line, you find out you are going to come out of college $200,000 to $250,000 in debt because they're not giving you full scholarships. Those, in many cases, are a misnomer, and especially depending on the sport. In the big revenue-producing sports like basketball, college football, it's possible. I don't want anybody to be insulted, but for women, if you're going to play softball or soccer, you're probably going to get a partial. I mean, there's some who get fulls, but not many. And the one thing I've learned about softball, by the way, and I didn't know it, listen, when I started working with you want to pitch. In women's softball, pitchers get full scholarships. I mean, that's just, I see some people who play softball shaking their head. I didn't know that. I just assumed it was like everything else. Otherwise, you're looking at a quarter of a scholarship or an eighth of a scholarship, or if you get really lucky, a half. So anyway, if you got an option of pitching or playing in the field, get really good at pitching. They love you. Let me just say this, community college is not a dirty word. A lot of student athletes go, one of our student athletes, some of you probably heard about, there's a guy named DJ Reed who's playing for the Seattle Seahawks. DJ, 3-year starter at Independence High School, 3-year starter in football, 3-year starter in basketball. First person in the history of his high school to ever be MVP in both sports. Had 3.2 GPA. And that's the other thing. Understand that when you're looking at your GPA, you're talking about core classes, okay? And what I mean by that, throw out the electives, throw out the gym, throw out the basket weaving. They only look at math, science, all those critical classes. While the NCAA standards are pretty low, you've got over 2.3 in your core classes. And then there is a sliding scale of ACT and SAT scores, which is now with COVID kind of, who knows where it is. So when you say what your GPA is, you have to learn, and we work with you to make sure you know what your GPA is in your core classes, which has to do with eligibility and scholarships. DJ had a 3.2 in his core classes, got no offers, but that was the first year we made people apply to colleges, and he got accepted to Fresno State. He got a partial scholarship to Fresno State. He walked on at Fresno State for football. He made the scout team in the fall, and in the spring he made the team, and he was pretty happy. So he went to the coaches and said, "Hey, I need a scholarship. My mom's working 3 jobs so I can be here." And they said to him, "We don't give walk-on scholarships to your junior year." He's like, "My mom can't do this for 2 more years." So he called me and said, "Hey, I want to humble myself. I'm going to go to community college. I want people to know that I can play at this level." We had him look at 5 community colleges. He, in particular, he wanted to get away from Bakersfield. And nothing against Bakersfield. He said to me, "If I stay in Bakersfield and go to junior college, it's going to be like still being in high school, because I want to be with the same people I was with." He came out of Southern California, went to Cerritos College, had a good year at Cerritos, and ended up with offers from Indiana State, Idaho, and Kansas State. He wanted to play with the big boys, so he went to K-State. And I always tell people when I tell that story, if I tell you that I had any idea what was going to happen at that point, I would be lying to you. He's a nice young man, okay? He's not a big guy, but he got a heart of gold, and he got as he says, "I got no quit in me." His first year at Kansas State, he was first team All Big 12. He was Defensive Newcomer of the Year. And the Kansas City newspaper wrote an article, "How do you miss a kid like this?" His second year at K-State, he was first team All Big 12. He was an All-American. And he was the number 2 punt and kickoff returner in the nation. And by the way, he had to beg the coaches to let him return punts and kicks because they wouldn't do it half to about 3/4 of the way through his first year. And he got drafted by the San Francisco 49ers in the 5th round, currently plays for the Seattle Seahawks. He's just finishing his 4-year rookie contract. He signed a 4-year, $2.7 million contract for 4 years. He's now out of that. This year he's making a little over $900,000. And that's public information, by the way. I'm not sure. But you can find it on the internet. Thanks to the internet. And he will be, he's going to get paid. What a good idea. He's getting paid. See, we just, he's on the COVID-19 list, but, hopefully that'll be over shortly. And I'm actually not mad that he's not playing, because he's not playing, he can't get hurt. and he's had a really good season. So he'll make somewhere between 2 to 5 million next year alone. Is that a long shot? Yes, it is. But hey. And as he says, I got no quit in me. Every time I step on a football field, it's to show those people who said I wasn't big enough, I wasn't strong enough, I wasn't fast enough, to show them they're wrong. And that's got to be your mindset if you want to play sports. Because you're going to find people better than you, who are faster than you. And the one thing I've learned over the 13 years, don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I love Bakersfield. And Bakersfield, when we started, all our student athletes were from Bakersfield. But if you were in Bakersfield, you were at a decided disadvantage because people don't recruit in Bakersfield. They recruit in LA. They might go to Fresno. They don't come here. So that means you got to work twice as hard, and as a lot of you know, that means you got to go down to LA to play play team ball or travel ball or whatever. But you know, it's something. If you want it, you can do it. If you have any doubt in your mind, it's not going to work. You want it, you can do it.